What is up, Wolfpack? Today we're going to be covering the differences between tarred Bankline and Paracord. Stick around to the end of the video because we're going to walk you through how we'll be giving away one of these brand new SE4s, the ultimate survival knife. It is the perfect combination of bush crafting with this awesome finger choil, as well as this 1095 carbon steel. You'll be able to baton your way through almost anything. We just gave away one to Kristen. Hope you're enjoying this, Kristen. Stick around to the end of the video. You'll be able to find out how you'll be able to win one of these. So when you're looking at your standard 10 C's of survival, you're looking at combustion, you're looking at cover. One of the most critical is cordage. And when you're looking at the different cordage options, oftentimes the very first thing you end up hearing about is paracord. This is 550 paracord. It's ubiquitous all over almost any survival channel, Amazon store, whatever. And you end up going out there and you end up picking up the paracord. And while paracord is amazing, no doubt, it does have a lot of limitations. And as you go deeper and deeper, you end up finding out what some of those limitations are and trying to figure out, okay, what other options are there? And so today we're going to be walking you through when you should be using paracord versus when you should be using potentially some other cordage options. So the advantage of paracord, number one, for its size, is incredibly strong. I mean, this is about a 25 foot bundle right here. Obviously paracord is known as 550 strength, and now remember that is not standard strength. That is the static strength. If you were to put let's say use this as a rappelling line, that jump on the cordage could end up tripling or quadrupling the amount of force. And so don't use this as an opportunity to sort of rappel, but as a ridge line, as an opportunity to set up your shelter, this cordage is phenomenal. In addition to that, as we've learned, it's got the individual strands inside of it. And so you can see here as we split away, you've got all of these individual filaments and fibers inside of this. And so if you needed additional cordage, if you wanted to set up some snares and some trap wire, you could end up using this paracord, which is what makes it so versatile. And so grabbing 100 feet of this, 25 feet of paracord is just a great, cheap start to your survival kit. Now, as you get further and further along, as your kits get a little bit more advanced, you start to learn a little bit more about additional cordage options, particularly Bankline. So what makes Bankline so great is, number one, it's tarred. Most Banklines, what they'll do is they'll typically take this. It's a 3-ply, and so this is actually like one of my backup rolls. I actually keep the standard 100 feet of Bankline in my bug out kits. In my camping kits, you can see here as we start to split away some of these fibers, you actually have three. You can either do braided or you could do twisted. I personally like the twisted because it makes it easier to come apart, but braided is great too. And so you can see here, as you start to separate, you get these simple, much smaller strands. And you can use these strands as fishing line. Depending on the type of fish and how good their eyesight is, you can end up using this for snare wires. But what I love about Bankline is because of the tarring. I wish you could feel this. It's got like a stickiness to it. It's got like a tackiness to it. And so for when you're doing your standard knots, it has a much harder bite. In addition to that, if you take a look at the difference between paracord and Bankline, paracord has a little bit of stretch to it, has a little bit of give to it, which is great for shelters. It's great for when you're putting together a ridge line and the wind and the breeze is blowing on your tarp. That give will prevent it from either snapping or breaking during a really high horizontal wind. But it also allow it to be flexible in the wind. Whereas there is zero give in Bankline. It is 100% solid, and so it works better for fishing scenarios. It works better for snare scenarios. It works better for certain scenarios. It works better as a for stitching and sewing. So you could pull this out and put it into a sail needle. And so when people are like, should I get paracord or Bankline? I tell people you should get both. I think for most camping setups, bug out setups, I think about 25 feet, maybe 50 feet, depending on how good you are with your knotted of paracord, and about 100 feet. And if you take a look, this is about 500 feet of Bankline. I'll typically spool off of this. And then this is about 250 feet. And so you get about 2x more Bankline in terms of linear feet than you do of Paracord. Now, obviously, you could pull out the strands from here and have substantially more. And so this is the best of both worlds. I think you should have a little bit of both. Now, if you could only pick one, between Paracord and Bankline, which one would you pick? Neither. I would actually pick up the survival cord. And what is survival cord is it's basically the combination of the two of them. So in addition to Paracord, which is you get your standard 550 feet of standard Paracord, you got those individual strands, but you also have this inside strand, which is a monofilament line, which you can use either as snare, you can use it to sew, you could also use it to go fishing. And so you've got all of these individual strands inside of here that is substantially more than Paracord or Bankline. And then this red one here is actually tinder. And so you can end up, pulling this out, and in a scenario where you were running low on tinder or didn't have enough fire making capabilities, you can end up using this. And so if you could only pick one, I'd actually go with survival cord. I think this is a way better option. I mean, there's a ton of them. There's the original Titan survival cord. There's PS Cook, which is a cheap Chinese knockoff. You've also got these from SOL. I mean, literally dime a dozen. In terms of storing it, yeah, you could keep it stored, no problem, in the original bag. You could also use one of these. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of this. I think this is it ends up making it a little bulkier. I think if you were able to just, learn how to properly tie your paracord, I think it ends up being a much tighter package than something like this. But the one advantage of this is it does hold your lighter, and it also has a razor blade in there, so you can end up cleanly cutting. And then you can use some of these holes if you've never lit Paracord. What I like about Paracord is you can actually light the ends and then touch it down, and it'll actually seal it properly. And so actually you can see here, I did it on this side. So if you were to have this all frayed up, you could actually, let's just do it right here. So let's just show you how this works. So you can see here, you can light the edge, and it ends up burning away a lot of the fibers. So you can literally just light this thing up with the frayed, and once it's properly sugared, pop it through, and then you end up getting a nice clean edge. So you can see here all of those frayed. Let's see if you can get that. You can see here you get nice two clean edges. So instead of all of those frayed, you can end up having a nice clean edge, and this can be fed through as shoelace or whatever you may need. In addition to that, don't forget your Gorilla Tape. I mean, this stuff is black gold. It's phenomenal. You can use this as moleskin. You can use this to patch up a tent. You can use this to patch up a backpack. So between this and your survival cord, I mean, that's a killer combo right here between these two, and you'll be all stocked and ready to go. And so I hope this was helpful. It helped you walk through the difference between Paracord and Bankline and helped you make the right proper decision. With that, so let's talk about how to get one of these. So we'll be giving these away once we hit 4,000 subscribers. Thank you so much to the community to help us grow so fast. All you have to do to enter to win is subscribe and leave a comment. That's it. Subscribe and leave a comment, and you'll be instantly entered to win this. We'll be giving this away once we hit 4,000 subscribers. In addition to that, give me a thumbs up. It really helps out with the algorithm. It helps us grow faster so we can give away these quickly. The last thing, turn on notifications. I had to track down Toby. Toby, if you're out there, I hope you're enjoying the knife, because he didn't see the video where we announced that he was the winner. And so turn on notifications. So if we do announce your name, there was only 20 people entered to the last giveaway. And so we want to make sure that we can get this out to you as quickly as possible. And it is the ultimate survival knife. So recap, all you need to do, subscribe, leave a comment, you're instantly entered. Make sure you're giving a thumbs up as well as turning on notifications, so when we do announce your name, we can send this out there. Thanks everyone, stay safe.